Okay, now let's make our third circuit. This one. So this one, we are going to use the paper to make our own battery holder instead of one of these battery holders. These battery holders can be really helpful, but sometimes they can be a little bit clunky. So another trick is to using paper or using fabric to construct your own battery holder, and that way the power source can more easily fit into your garment or your circuitry. Okay, so for this one we're going to need scissors and needle and thread, and our last LED, and a little bit of conductive fabric. So first I'll cut out just a little chunk. And the second thing I'm going to do is cut out the tabs that we're going to be using to fold for the battery holder. So I'm going to cut along this line here, and this side here. And then we're going to make little tabs so that it can be nice and secure. So, go over a little bit more here. Just gonna mark right here. I'm gonna make a little slit right there. So I'm just gonna fold. This will be a little bit bigger. What I was able to do is I just cut a little slit right there in the paper, and then this tab, when it folds over, can slide into there. Alright. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is our battery is going to be sitting right here. So with the positive side up. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect negative thread here. It's going to be touching the negative side of the battery. So this is negative to negative, and this is where our negative leg of the LED will be. And then when this piece of paper folds over, it's going to be touching the top part of the battery. So this is positive. And with the circuitry here, positive, we'll have the conductive thread coming out from this section here and connecting over here. And that'll be our positive side of the circuit. Okay, so let's start stitching in the circuitry. So I'm going to use that little piece. I'm even going to make this even smaller. The reason I'm going to use this little piece of conductive fabric to sew into the paper, it's just that there's a little bit more surface area, so it makes it easier for there to be more contact between the conductive thread and this fabric to the battery. We want this connection that we're forming inside the pocket, inside the holder, to be really strong against the positive side of the battery. So let me get a new piece of conductive thread so I have enough length. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is with my needle and conductive thread, I'm going to sew in this piece of fabric into the right side of the battery holder. So I want it to stay right in the middle, and I'm just going to do a bunch of stitches. Now I'm not going to stick any glue on this because the glue is not conductive and I don't want anything to be between this little patch of conductivity and the battery when the battery is in the holder. I might put some glue on the other side, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm just going to put my first stitch there. There we go. So with this needle and thread, I'm still on the positive side of the circuit. I'm going to come back up to the back side of the paper here. Great. And now I'm going to cut that extra bit of thread off. Okay, now let's do the negative side of the circuit. So remember, the battery is going to be sitting here, and the negative side of the battery is on the bottom. So that's going to be, we want the thread to start right here underneath the battery and then go up to the negative side of the LED. Okay, so I'm going to stitch a little patch of conductive thread right into here where the center of this is. Cool. All right. I want the this connection of conductive thread to go out through the back side. So I'm going to do one more stitch so it comes out the back side of the battery holder. I'm doing this because it's I don't want there to be any extra thread that could possibly touch the positive side of the battery. So on the negative side, if it comes out the back side of the paper, and then we continue it up through here. So in this way, right here is that little patch of conductive thread. This is going to be the negative side, and it comes out the back side of the holder, and then to here. And now it's going to connect to the negative leg of the LED. And I'm going to cut this extra thread here. Dab this little last connection with glue here. And let's test this. So I'm going to grab my battery. I'm going to put negative side down. So this negative side is against that little patch of conductive thread. Now when I fold this over, this little patch of conductive fabric is going to touch the battery. And there we have our light lighting up. Great. So let's just finish the pocket off and we'll be good to go. In the paper for the other tab to go into. Cool. Alright, so let's slide the battery in. Our light is on. And just going to close this last tab and slide it in. Now on the other side, I'm going to pull those little tabs of paper through and just kind of fold them over just for extra security. And there we go, we have our battery holder. Okay, great, so now you finished your 3 different kinds of creative circuits. Okay. And now my swatch book is all finished.